Picture this, you're sitting comfortably in an airplane, soaring high above the clouds. The view is breathtaking. But have you ever wondered about the invisible systems keeping you safe? That's where avionics come in. These are the electronic systems that help fly and navigate the plane. And just like your smartphone or computer, they need protection from cyber threats. Cyber threats? In an airplane? It might sound like science fiction, but it's very real. As our world becomes more connected, even our planes are joining the digital age. This means they can face the same kinds of online dangers as our ground-based devices. But the stakes are much higher when you're 30,000 feet in the air. That's why cybersecurity in avionics is so crucial. It's not just about protecting data or preventing inconvenience, it's about safeguarding human lives. When we talk about cybersecurity in avionics, we're talking about making sure that every flight is as safe as it can possibly be. So fasten your seatbelts and let's take off on this journey into the world of avionics cybersecurity. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are avionics? Well, if you break down the word, you get AV from aviation and onyx from electronics. So avionics are simply the electronic systems used in aircraft. Think of them as the plane's brain and nervous system. They handle everything from navigation and communication to flight control and weather radar. Now, you might be wondering why these systems need protection. In today's interconnected world, even airplanes are linked to networks on the ground. They receive weather updates, navigation data, and communications. This connectivity is incredibly useful, but it also opens up potential vulnerabilities. Imagine if someone could interfere with the GPS system of an airplane, or if they could send false weather information. These scenarios might sound far-fetched, but they're real possibilities that cybersecurity experts work hard to prevent. It's essential for keeping our skies safe and our flights smooth. Now that we understand what avionics are and why they need protection, let's take a closer look at the kinds of threats they face. The threats can come from many directions and they're always evolving. One of the biggest concerns is malware. This is malicious software that can infect computer systems, including those in airplanes. Malware can do all sorts of nasty things, from stealing data to disrupting operations. Another major threat is hacking. This is when someone tries to gain unauthorized access to a computer system. In the case of avionics, a hacker might try to break into the plane's systems to steal information or cause disruption. Then there's phishing, which is a sneaky way of tricking people into revealing sensitive information. For every threat, there are smart people working on defenses. Let's dive a little deeper into these three big threats: malware, hacking, and phishing. Malware, short for malicious software, comes in many forms. In an avionics context, malware could potentially interfere with navigation systems, corrupt important data, or even take control of certain aircraft functions. Hacking is all about gaining unauthorized access to computer systems. Hackers might exploit software vulnerabilities, use stolen passwords, or employ other techniques to break into avionics systems. Once inside, they could potentially do all sorts of mischief, from stealing sensitive data to interfering with flight controls. Phishing relies on tricking humans rather than breaking through technical defenses. A phishing attack might involve sending an email that looks like it's from a trusted source, asking for login details or other sensitive information. In the aviation world, a successful phishing attack could give criminals access to important systems or data. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, trying to fool the shepherd. The best defense against phishing is education, teaching people to recognize and avoid these tricky attempts. Section 5, GPS spoofing, when your plane doesn't know where it is. Now let's talk about a specific threat that's particularly relevant to avionics: GPS spoofing. GPS, or Global Positioning System, is crucial for modern air travel. It helps planes navigate accurately and safely. But what if someone could trick a plane into thinking it was somewhere it wasn't? That's exactly what GPS spoofing aims to do. In a GPS spoofing attack, someone broadcasts fake GPS signals that are stronger than the real ones. This can fool the receiver into thinking it's in a different location. GPS spoofing could potentially make a plane think it's higher or lower than it really is, or even off course. In extreme cases, this could lead to dangerous situations, especially in bad weather or when visibility is poor. The good news is that there are ways to detect and prevent GPS spoofing. One method is to use multiple navigation systems, not just GPS. Another approach is to use special antennas that can tell which direction GPS signals are coming from. This can help spot fake signals that aren't coming from the sky where the satellites are. As always in the world of cybersecurity, it's a game of constant improvement and vigilance. Section 6, data breaches, keeping passenger information safe. When we think about cybersecurity in avionics, we often focus on the systems that keep the plane flying safely. But there's another important aspect: protecting passenger data. Airlines handle a lot of sensitive information, from passport details to credit card numbers. Keeping this data safe is crucial, and it's a big part of cybersecurity in the aviation industry. A data breach is when unauthorized people gain access to sensitive information. In the airline world, this could mean hackers getting their hands on passenger lists, frequent flyer accounts, or even payment details. The consequences can be serious. Identity theft, financial fraud, and loss of customer trust are just a few potential outcomes. So how do airlines protect against data breaches? One key strategy is encryption. This is like putting all the sensitive data into a secure safe that only authorized people can open. Even if hackers manage to steal the data, they won't be able to read it without the encryption key. Remember, in the world of cybersecurity, protecting data is just as important as protecting the physical systems. In Section 7, software vulnerabilities, the chinks in the armor. Now, let's talk about something that keeps cybersecurity experts up at night. Software vulnerabilities. These are weaknesses or flaws in computer programs that could potentially be exploited by attackers. In the world of avionics, where software controls crucial systems, these vulnerabilities can be particularly concerning. Think of software like a suit of armor. It's designed to protect, but if there's a tiny gap or weak spot, that's where an attacker will try to strike. Software vulnerabilities are like these weak spots. They might be small coding errors, overlooked security settings, or even intentional backdoors left by developers for testing. One common type of vulnerability is a buffer overflow. Another vulnerability is known as an SQL injection. That's why it's crucial for aviation software to be rigorously tested and regularly updated to patch any vulnerabilities that are discovered. Section 8. Building a digital fortress, multi-layered security approaches. When it comes to protecting avionics systems from cyber threats, one layer of security isn't enough. That's why experts use what's called a multi-layered security approach. It's like building a castle with not just one wall, but several walls, a moat, and a bunch of guards. Each layer adds another obstacle for potential attackers to overcome. The first layer often involves physical security. This means protecting the actual hardware, the computers and networks that run avionics systems. Next comes network security. This involves protecting the connections between different parts of the avionics system, as well as connections to external networks. Application security is another crucial layer. This focuses on making sure the software used in avionics systems is as secure as possible. Finally, there's the human layer. This involves training everyone involved in aviation, from pilots and engineers to ground crew and administrative staff, in cybersecurity best practices. By combining all these layers, the aviation industry creates a robust defense against cyber threats. Section 9. Encryption, scrambling data to keep it safe. One of the most powerful tools in the cybersecurity toolkit is encryption. It's like having a secret code that only you and the intended recipient know. In the world of avionics, encryption plays a crucial role in protecting sensitive data and communications. At its core, encryption is the process of converting information into a form that looks like gibberish to anyone who doesn't have the key to decode it. In digital systems, encryption uses complex mathematical algorithms to scramble data. The original information is called plaintext, and the scrambled version is called ciphertext. To read the ciphertext, you need a special key that tells you how to unscramble it. In avionics, encryption is used in many ways. It protects communications between the aircraft and ground control, ensuring that no one can eavesdrop or send fake messages. It safeguards navigation data, making it much harder for attackers to spoof GPS signals. And it protects passenger data both when it's being transmitted and when it's stored in databases. In the world of avionics, staying ahead in this race is crucial for maintaining the safety and security of air travel. Section 10, the human factor, how employees can be cybersecurity heroes. While we've talked a lot about technical measures, there's one crucial element of cybersecurity that we can't overlook, the human factor. In many ways, people are both the strongest and weakest links in the security chain.